duty. Enjoy our full-service restaurant and fully stocked bar. Dine in, pick up, delivery, and catering. Our themed happy hours feature live music, handcrafted drinks, and weekly specials. Book your private event at hoodfellowsbistrocatering.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You made Diamond K in here, of course, the Diamond K Show, Radio on Fire, ONFIRE-TV.com. Sad news out of Baltimore. We're going to start here. It is not often that we get to talk about good stuff nationwide from the city, and this is one of those stories. So the U.S. Coast Guard says that it is suspending its search and rescue efforts for the 6 individuals that are still missing after the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. So I'm sure that many of you have seen the news reports and online talking about this collapse. And so they put this statement out during the news conference this evening. I'd like to announce tonight that based on the length of time that we've gone in this search, the extensive search efforts we've put into it, the water temperature, that at this point, we do not believe that we're going to find any of these individuals still alive. This was a Rear Admiral that made that statement tonight. And so the sad story, there's a lot of talk about the bridge, a lot of talk about the economic impact of this tragedy. And I just don't think that enough has been said about the loss of life, presumed loss of life. So earlier today, 2 folks were pulled from the Patapsco River. Baltimore City Fire Department Chief James Wallace said one was not injured. The other was taken to a local trauma center in very serious condition. So a patient being treated at the University of Maryland was discharged later Tuesday, the hospital said in a statement. So just a sad situation. So it happened overnight. And if you've seen the video of this tragedy, then, you already know. It's one of those things. I feel this is a 50-year-old bridge. And, they definitely don't make them like that. And they shouldn't. So the structure is supported in the center, and that's where all the weight goes. So you take away that beam. When the cargo ship hit that beam, that whole 1.5 mile structure dropped into the sea. And what we're going to talk about is they say it lost power. I just don't understand why it is constructed in a way that single support beam was holding up so much of the road. This structure was made in the 70s, and here in Baltimore, something that many folks have gone over this bridge. And a lot of people don't like bridges. This is a high bridge, and I guess one of the good things about it is it allows you to see the city really well, and it's a good visual if you're riding on there, but it's scary. It's very scary. And this tragedy here, in addition to the presumed loss of life, the paramedics and the rescue folks are saying that they're suspending the active search and rescue efforts. Coast Guard's not going away, they said. None of the partners are going away, but they're just going to transition to a different phase. So now it is definitely, I guess, understood that these folks are not alive, and they're trying to at this point recover bodies. But this is just a really, really, really sad situation. And well, so we talk about the ship itself. The crew of the ship notified officials that it lost power prior to the crash. And I suppose now they're going to have to do the investigation and all of that. But the way that this bridge was constructed, it just seems like it needed more support, because the way that thing dropped upon impact is very shocking. Imagine if that was midday. Imagine if that was rush hour. There would have been, just the amount of cars that would have been on that bridge at that time. The flow of traffic. I'm just feeling that this tragedy could have been so much worse. Now, the building, according to reports, was up to code at the time of the collapse. So it's one of those things. If this ship does not crash into the bridge would still be standing right now. So the crashing of the cargo ship into the bridge is what caused this shocking and heartbreaking event for the people of Maryland. People of Maryland have just used this bridge 47 years. 47 years. And this is definitely going to affect travel in the city. I don't like going on the bridge. I don't like taking the tunnel that goes underneath the water. I don't like either one of them. And when I can avoid them, I actually do. I prefer to drive through the city, honestly. Several vehicles are believed to have fallen into the water, including a large tractor trailer. Director of Communications for the Baltimore City Fire Department said. Now, according to Governor Wes Moore, the bridge was up to code. So let me say that. According to the governor, he would know better than me, right? But search and rescue crews used infrared and sonar technology to mark 5 vehicles underwater in the Patapsco River, 3 of which are believed to be passenger vehicles. There are 8 dive teams that made up about 50 divers that were working on the rescue efforts. But that's a lot. Now, there were, what they say, no known victims in the water who were in vehicles on the bridge at the time of the accident. So there was work being done. So these vehicles could have been parked, and folks could have, the vehicles could have fallen. There's any number, but just the structure. If you remember 9/11, you remember when the second plane hit the tower and how the building just dropped, right? You remember that. This took me back to that moment because the weight of the bridge, when you took out that support beam, which is in the ground, when the bridge lost that beam, the whole thing dropped. So all the weight of that 1.5 mile bridge, the roadway, was being supported by this beam. And when the cargo ship hit the beam, there was no support for the roadway. And the thing, I guess the thing that bothers me about this structure is that should not have caused 1.5 miles of road to drop. If you remember that tragedy in Pennsylvania, Philly, where a stretch of 95 was impacted by a tractor trailer and part of the road dropped. The whole, 1 mile didn't drop. It was part. And it was it was like a bridge, and I think that it was too high to go through that. Looking at this, it's just an unspeakable tragedy. Definitely an unspeakable tragedy. So this is sadly something that city of Baltimore and the surrounding areas are going to be dealing with for a while. There were individuals working on the bridge at the time. Every time we turn around, there is some type of construction going on. And it's one of those things. You got to constantly repair to keep things up to par. And you constantly hear politicians talking about infrastructure week. The infrastructure of this country, there are thousands of bridges across the country in different stages of decay. And this bridge is 47 years old. And I think that we really need to pay attention to the true infrastructure of the country. These are things that we take for granted. You just assume you go over a bridge and it's going to be intact when you get to the other side. Right. But you just don't know. Imagine some of the folks that went over the bridge just, minutes before and then end up getting home to their destination and seeing the result of this on the news. It is a sad thing there. Sad thing. I don't know. So the ship, which has all these tractor trailers on it, a cargo ship, the ship hit the bridge just before 1:30 a.m. Now, it is a Singapore flagged container vessel. Coast Guard said that it was about 984 feet long and 157 feet wide. So this is a big ship. This is a big ship. And I don't know. It's just the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed. The Francis Scott Key Bridge is in the river. It is in the river. And so I don't know. It is really, really shocking to see it. And if you watch that video, just the way that it happens is crazy. So they're saying that the ship dropped its anchors as part of an emergency procedure before hitting the bridge. Ship dropped the anchor. Now, the vessel is currently holding its position at the site of the collision, and it is in stable condition, and all of the 22 ship crew members are safe. Crew members are safe and accounted for. They said that the ship lost power. There's going to be a lot of investigation on this. No crew members on the ship were injured. The ship management company, Synergy Group, said in a statement, multiple agencies are investigating this crash. Multiple agencies. Now, there is absolutely no indication that this was intentional. The Baltimore Police Commissioner said this morning, this was not a terrorist attack or something like that. This is just a horrible accident. Horrible accident. That definitely, we got to do something about the bridges. The way that bridges are made in 2024, I'm sure, is not how they are put together in the 70s when this bridge, the Francis Scott Key Bridge, was made. So it's hard not to speculate. So we're gonna go with facts, but I don't know. Something about the way that bridge just dropped just doesn't sit well with me. And I'm looking on Instagram. So someone says that I'm at work at the port in Philadelphia. They informed us over the walkie-talkie about 2 a.m. this morning. talking about the being alerted. Hey, how's it going? Of this tragedy. Yeah, and so I'm just looking at folks online talking about going over the bridge. Not long before or earlier that evening, going over that bridge. I've gone over that bridge more times than I can count. Definitely. And so infrastructure. What are they doing with our tax dollars? Are they investing in the infrastructure of our roads and bridges? I mean, because I see potholes all over the city, big ones, big dumb potholes. And I see a lot of workers holding up traffic a lot, but I don't see a lot of things getting fixed. I do not see a lot of things getting fixed. So the Francis Scott Key Bridge, gone. Collapsed after a cargo ship hits the support column. I feel like a ship should not be able to get, like there needs to be some type of a barrier protecting the column. You go to a concert, right? My girl Meg Thee Stallion is coming here to Baltimore soon, and when she comes here, she's going to be on the stage, and they're going to have a barrier to keep the crowd from getting to the stage. We need to have a barrier that protects those support columns from things just like this. We need to have that. There needs to, so you have that support column, but it doesn't need to be a support column like one column. It needs to be multiple support columns. Shouldn't just be one. You need to have more than one. 6 workers presumed dead. Baltimore's Key Bridge collapsed after this container ship hit the column. Just tuning in, it's your man Diamond K in here, Radio on Fire, ONFIRE-TV. We are talking about this tragedy in Baltimore. Citizens, officials, family mourning the presumed loss of at least 6 individuals. Based on the time and length that has gone on, the extensive search efforts, the water temperature, how could they make it, right? So we're going to continue to follow this collapse. There's going to be a big investigation. I'll tell you that. There's going to be a big investigation. There's going to be a lot. But as I said, sadly, the 6 construction workers presumed dead. Coast Guard says this about the search and rescue efforts. The Coast Guard is hoping divers can return to the water at 6 a.m. tomorrow to continue their search. 2 workers were rescued. The crew was repairing potholes on the bridge. That's what they were doing. They were repairing potholes on the bridge when the container ship slammed into the bridge. So the President Joe Biden is supposed to be monitoring the situation. It is definitely going to take some time to get to the bottom of this. Definitely going to take some time. So the other thing I guess we can touch on, moments before the crash, there was a mayday from the ship. Reports came in around 1:40 this morning that a large vessel had crashed into a column in the central part of the bridge. Of all the places to hit, the worst is the central part of the bridge because that is what's holding up that whole structure. So that bridge carries north and southbound lanes of Interstate 695. Okay. So this is 695. This is part of 695. So when I say that we go across this bridge all the time in the city, we go across this bridge all the time. 695 is a well-traveled road here. Ship caught on fire with dark smoke coming from the vessel before it crashed into this central support structure. Now, segments of the bridge rapidly snapped and plummeted, causing multiple vehicles to fall into the water. Multiple vehicles falling into the water. And what you're seeing here on the screen, if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook or X or Twitch, what you're seeing here is that's the top of the bridge. Okay. Now, where the road where cars would travel is well underwater. This is the top of the bridge that you're seeing at this point. It is unclear. I mean, it is, I don't know. It just looks bad. It just looks bad. And if you see the center of the ship, there's some type of a fire that is happening. The ship's crew notified authorities of a power issue through the Mayday. This is just before they struck the bridge. They were alerting about this loss of power. Now, because of the warning, it is being said that the Port Authority workers were able to stop traffic. So that is a good thing that happened. They send this Mayday out. If this was a deliberate thing, they wouldn't have sent out the Mayday at that time, right? So they sent out this Mayday, and Port Authority workers stopped additional traffic to prevent more vehicles from traveling onto the bridge. Now, this is one of the good things that happened. Now, those folks saved lives, because if the traffic north and southbound wasn't stopped, you would have had more cars on that bridge. So definitely shout out to those Port Authority workers who undoubtedly saved lives. But we cannot forget the loss of life. And we're a long way from knowing who is presumed to be lost, and we're going to continue to follow this story. But like I said, it is definitely sad. Sad story out of Baltimore. And definitely let us know your thoughts on that. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, any social media at The Diamond K Show. You can always hit me up, djdiamondk@gmail.com. Let me know your thoughts on this. We're going to take a quick break and then come back. And I want to talk about Diddy. It is not looking good. It is not looking good for Diddy. We're going to talk about Diddy on the other side of this. 10 seconds. Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here, of course, the Diamond K Show. Sean P. Diddy Combs. If I had been told in advance some of the things that Diddy would be going through, if I had been told this in the 90s, I would have been surprised. Early 2000s, I would have been surprised. And Diddy's been in a lot of mess over the years. But where he's at now, and he has not been criminally charged with anything. So let me say that. He has not been criminally charged with anything. But still, there have been a lot of allegations. And if Homeland Security shows up at your houses, something's going on, right? Something's going on. Now, attorneys for the rap mogul said today that these searches of his LA and Miami properties by federal authorities in a sex trafficking investigation were a gross use of military level force, and that Combs is innocent and will continue to fight to clear his name. Now, I'm going to say this. They didn't come this hard to Trump's house. And he had nuclear secrets. I'm just saying. Donald Trump did not, they didn't come like this. They were like, oh, hey, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Trump in another story. But they came at Diddy hard, right? They came, obviously there's a search warrant because they wouldn't have been able to do what they did rolling in there without a search warrant. So the attorney says that this is a gross overuse of military level force as this search warrant was being executed. What are they looking for? We don't know. But this is what you expect a defense attorney to say. The searches are part of an ongoing sex trafficking investigation by the feds in New York, two law officials told the Associated Press. The officials were not authorized to publicly discuss details of the investigation and spoke to the AP on the condition of anonymity. All right. So we're going to see. I'll say this. When the feds did run up in Trump's house, he was arrested. He was arrested eventually, right? Now, he didn't go to jail in the real way, but I don't know if they came this hard though. They can't look. The feds came hard, but they ain't have guns out and people handcuffed. Somebody said on Instagram that they came the same way. They did not have Barron and none of Trump's kids handcuffed on the ground like they got Diddy's kids. So go ahead and stop playing like that. Yes, the feds came. They had jackets on, but they didn't service that search warrant the same way. Folks gonna try to say it's the same way. No, they came way harder at Diddy's house. I saw Diddy's kids handcuffed on the ground. I didn't see none of Trump's kids handcuffed, nothing like that. Get out of here with that foolishness. So I don't know. There is interesting stuff going on. Now, as of yet, there has been no finding of criminal or civil liability with any of these allegations, according to Diddy's attorneys. He says that Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue to fight to clear his name. I don't know. But as I said, Justin and King Combs, Christian Combs, were handcuffed during the raid at their father's house. King Combs, 25, and he's had a bunch of hits. Handcuffed. Law enforcement conducted the raid yesterday. So it was. I'm not going to say that it is shocking. But it is definitely interesting to watch how this is unfolding. So when it rains, it pours. Diddy has been the subject of a lot of speculation over the last few months, and this criminal investigation is a major escalation in the scrutiny of Diddy Combs. So recent months, he has been the defendant in several sexual abuse lawsuits, those being civil. But whatever Homeland is doing, whatever the feds are doing, just doesn't feel civil to me. This feels more criminal. It feels more criminal. Now, there was a lawsuit that Combs settled a day after it was filed in November, that his former protege and girlfriend, R&B singer Cassie, sued him, who alleged years of sexual abuse. You remember that? and just as quick as it came, it went away. This is just like that. In February, a music producer filed a lawsuit alleging Combs coerced him to solicit prostitutes and pressured him to have sex with them. Now, many are speculating that the search warrant that was executed yesterday could be related to that kind of charge. Interesting. Now, another of Combs' accusers was a woman who said that the rap mogul raped her 20 years ago when she was 17. Combs and his attorney have denied all of these charges. And I got to say that he is innocent until proven guilty. Combs is one of the most influential hip hop producers and executives in the past 30 years. So this is a major thing. This is a major thing. He's built one of hip hop's biggest empires, Bad Boy Records. He's a 3-time Grammy winner. Now, I will say this, the Grammys don't have the credibility that it used to have. But back when he won awards, maybe they had more credibility than they do now. Worked with a slew of top-tier artists like Biggie, Mary J. Blige, Usher, Lil' Kim, Faith Evans, 112, Mace, etc., 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 etc. This is interesting. I don't know what happens here. I do know that Diddy's empire is shaky right now. He has a lot of money, but things like this mess with money. He has a lot of money. I'm sure he has a lot of bills. And fighting cases and paying out settlements can be costly. I hope that we get to the truth. Whatever the truth is, I hope we get to that. I hope we get to that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Of course, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show. All social media at The Diamond K Show. djdiamondk@gmail.com. Let's do this. Take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk about former President Donald Trump, gag order. So he's had good and bad things happen in the last day. We're going to talk about some of those things. Welcome back. Welcome back. You man, Diamond K. A New York judge has issued a new gag order on former President Donald Trump. Now, a gag order is necessary. This guy is going to be talking crazy. So the judge issued the gag order in the hush money case. Now, this order bars Trump from making public statements about the people involved in the trial. Now, it does not apply to comments about District Attorney Alvin Bragg. He cannot make those statements about potential jurors, court staff, or family members of staff. This is considered threatening witnesses. This decision was made in response to a request for an order of this type by District Attorney Bragg's legal team. They wanted to limit the extra judicial statements that were made specifically by Trump during the trial. So, somebody like Trump doesn't like this. And this decision comes a day after a new date was set to begin this criminal trial, now expected to kick off with jury selection on April 15th. It would be the first criminal trial featuring a former or sitting U.S. president. Let's understand this. A criminal trial is going to take place for a former president. Wow, that is crazy. Trump has previously been issued fines in civil trials. And of course, we're talking about with Diddy, the difference between civil and criminal. There is civil is going to give you a financial penalty, and criminal can have you in jail. Okay. Criminal can have you in jail, as you well know. So previously, Trump has been issued fines in the civil trials in New York for making public statements about legal staff and their political affiliations, and that violated other gag orders. Earlier in the day, Trump went after the judge, his daughter. That's that. It is amazing the things that Trump is allowed to get away with. If former President Barack Obama just had one of these charges, no, not 90 something, one of these charges. If Barack Obama was charged with espionage, oh my God. Do you know how crazy that would be? Even the Democrats that support Barack Obama would have turned on him. But Donald Trump is a privileged white guy, and y'all are just treating him different. Y'all are just treating him different. He comes after the judge of which he is sitting in front of to be judged. And a few things happen here and there to him. The court also agreed to stop New York from seizing Trump's assets. This isn't a whole nother case. This isn't a whole nother case. And so not only is he dealing with that gag order, but he has this case, and the court has agreed to pause collection of this massive civil fraud judgment if he puts up $175 million in the next 10 days. So he's got 10 days to do that. So the appeals court yesterday agreed to hold off collection. Initially, it was $454 million that he's supposed to put up. So now they've given him a reduction. Who else would have gotten a reduction in the amount that they owed? Right? The judgment's already been made. I mean, you can't make this up. If I was writing this in a story, y'all would say this is too unbelievable. Y'all would say this is too unbelievable if this was a movie. If Trump does, it will stop the clock on collection and prevent the state from seizing the nominee's assets while he is appealing. The appeals court also halted other aspects of the trial judge's ruling that had barred Trump and his sons, Eric and Donald Jr., the family company's executive vice presidents and others, from serving in corporate leadership for several years. Oh, yeah, they just, you know what I mean? They just looked out for their boy. In all, the order was a significant victory for Donald Trump. So he's defending his real estate empire that, really catapulted him to public life. The development came just before AG Letitia James, Democrat, was expected to initiate efforts to collect the judgment. One thing about America is that we are really, really, really connected with the fairy tale, the way things look. And you have many people that say, oh, it just doesn't look good that the former president, is in this situation. So they're moving pieces around the board to help them in a way that they would not do for an ordinary citizen. But I want you to hear me clearly. The president is not above the law. And while he's not a quote unquote ordinary citizen, he's not any better than you or me. but he's being treated differently. You talk about 2 tiers of justice. You always hear him and his flunkies talking about 2 tiers of justice. Donald Trump is getting a special kind of justice. You go in court on a traffic ticket and talk crazy to the judge or about the judge and watch what you get. I'm just saying, a traffic court. This Bama is being charged with espionage, or but whatever. That is what it is. Trump, who was attending a separate hearing in his criminal hush money case, is up and down. It's up and down. It's up and down. I don't know where this is going to end up with regards to Trump. I don't know how this is going to flow with Trump, but it is interesting. It is interesting. His supporters are continuing to support him, but he has a temporary gag order right now. We're going to see if he can abide by it. I don't know if he can, because this dude likes to run his mouth, and the fact that he's being told that he cannot run his mouth, that in itself just may be more than he can handle. Maybe more than he can handle. So we got 10 days to see what he's going to come up with the money, and I think he has access to it. He's gonna be able to borrow that from somebody very easily now. The 400 some, not so much, but he could probably break this up to a few different places and maybe get this money together after all. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, of course. djdiamondk at gmail.com. All social media, I am at the Diamond K Show. I will be back here tomorrow, 6 p.m. A lot more to get into, lot of things to chop it up about. So I will see you guys tomorrow.